Hey, what's up guys, this is Marcos. Today I want to share with you the lens I think it's the most underrated. Now when I say this, I'm not talking about my favorite lens or the lens I use the most. I'm just talking about the lens that has pulled me through in a lot of video shoots that I've done. The lens I'm talking about is the 135mm from Rocha. Is an f2 lens. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be from Rocha, just the focal length is what matters. So here's what you need to know. In an ideal world, you would purchase the 70 to 200mm lens, but those tend to run anywhere from $1,500 to like $2,600. For Sony, I'm a Sony user. An E-mount 70 to 200 is going to run you anywhere. If you get the f4, it's like $1,400. If you get the f2.8, that's $2,600. Now on the other hand, this one from Rocha only cost me $350. So if you compare the price difference and you can't afford the 70 to 200mm lens, the zoom lens, then this might be your only other option, which was for me. The aperture goes down to f2, and you can also buy the Cine series, which is more like T-stops, and you wouldn't have these hard f-stop clicks. I prefer this just because when I am on the camera trying to pull focus, sometimes I accidentally move the T-stop ring because it is really smooth and easy to move. They're also cheaper if you get these kind of lenses instead of the T-stop ones. It's a great lens, pretty sharp, and they just pull me through in so many situations, especially with weddings. I need to be able to get a close-up of a person's face without physically getting close to them. So what that means for like a ceremony, I like to have my medium and my wide, but also like a close-up. And in order to do that, you know, I don't want to get too close up to the front or get close to the couple. I want to be on the outside. I don't want to interfere. So a lens like this would be great. On my Sony, all I do is use the clear image zoom and I crop in a little bit on the lens to make this even more like a 160 or 175. I don't know the exact math, but you get the point. Also, if I want to get reaction shots of, like, let's say the groom's mom or the bride's dad, I can essentially, you know, just capture their face without getting close to them. Because if I were to, you know, get up close with my 50 or an 85, they would notice me and they start acting differently. So I definitely don't want that. Also with toast or cocktail hour, I want to capture people's faces. And with this, I'm able to, you know, to get on their face without them noticing me. There's also many different situations where I've used this for commercial work. When I'm out in the street and I want to get, you know, just the ambient look of a city, I'm able to use this and you get a different compression, a different look. Also, you know, when people are walking through restaurants or anything like that, I like to get more of a close-up. So this is great for that. The last thing that I want to mention is that you get great bokeh, blurry background with this lens because of the compression. Even at f4 or f5.6, you're gonna notice that it looks very different from like just using a 50 or an 85 or a wide angle. You know, people go crazy over those lenses, and I think they're great. Those the wide angles and the 50 and 85s are probably the lenses you need to get first. But when you're gonna do weddings or corporate work, you might want to have this in your camera bag because it might pull you through in tight situations when you can't get really close to people. Okay, so again, it's for if you can't afford the 70 to 200, this is your option. If you're on a budget, if you want to get up to people's face without physically being close to them, then you probably need this lens. And eventually I will invest in a 70 to 200, but for now, you know, there's a bunch of other filmmaking gear that I need, and we all know it gets expensive. And you know, this is a lens that needs to be talked about. Check this out. You see that? It steps down to f2, which is great because the zoom lenses that I mentioned can't step down that low. So something to consider if you're thinking about buying this lens. There'll be links in the description if you want to check it out. This does it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, please drop them down below. As always, appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.